All righty, we're live. Welcome back to our part three series, and this is part two of building your network strategies. We are here with the Success Corporation, Pastor Marco George. How are you today?
I am doing phenomenal. How are you today, Miss Tyran?
I'm doing well. My name is Taran Hanson. I'll be the host of the show. My NMLS is 998575, and I'm super excited to present today's topic, building your network strategies. So let's dive in today's conversation. Oh, well, let's get into the agenda. So we want to go over the mission, understanding building your network, how to build your network, building your network strategies, the importance of your network, and choosing the right network. And then we'll wrap this on up. So, Pastor George, let's dive into the mission of the Success Corporation.
Well, let me again say good day to everyone. Today, as we continue our journey to not only achieve personal and professional success, but to understand uh, and master the art of networking. Success Corporation is committed to empowering each of you with knowledge and tools needed to expand your professional circle. Um, that's the gist of our network. I mean, our mission, I should say. Um, so we want you to uh, let's just dive into the intricacies of building a successful network. I ain't gonna keep you all night. I ain't gonna keep you all day.
But we love the fact that we're building this platform of the mindset, building your network, and giving proven strategies. So I know that you don't want to be long winded, but this is a great foundation to build upon to help out the youth and the young adults that's getting into the workforce. So as we're helping them with their resumes and we're helping providing these services, they have a baseline to start at. So I do appreciate you for thoroughly breaking this down because this is for our youth and young adults and their workforce training and getting into that workforce, right? So me as a millennial, I appreciate the fact that you as a boomer is no as a your generation
Next,
X,
Gen X.
Gen X. I appreciate you as Gen X that has well seasoned and the work recruiting, development, empowerment of youth, community, fostering churches, pastoring the youth. I appreciate you for bringing this to my attention because I had no um I wasn't aware that mindset was something that was needed because I know I mentioned that my grandmother raised me that way. So now that I'm aware of that, I'm happy that we're able to bridge this gap to bring these proven strategies, not only to help with resumes, but to make sure that they're sustainable while they're on their jobs.
Yeah, that's true. One, that mindset that we talked about in our last series. Well, in the first part of this series, this three-part series, part one was that that mindset, and now as we talk about part two, let's just talk about the importance of understanding, um, understanding how to build a network. The importance of understanding that. Um, you know, and what we need to understand, I think the first thing is building a network is not just about collecting contacts. It is it is really about developing and cultivating meaningful relationships, supportive relationships that grow over time. You don't, you go to a networking event, you don't you can build instant rapport with someone, but you still have to nurture that relationship. A strong network, listen to me good, people. A strong network can open doors to opportunities that might otherwise remain out of reach. A strong network can offer support, advice, and access to resources. When you don't have resources and you have a strong network, you have resources. You understand me?
Oh, right. Rightfully agreed. And that's why Opulent Ecosystem and Lenders Plus is here, making sure that we're providing these resources, not only in a form of an application or in form of a resume or in form of a grant, but also just the know-how and to be able to understand that. So I'm excited for us to really break down these strategies.
So now let's talk about how to build your network. So the first thing we need to do is we need to start by identifying our goals. We start by identifying our goals. And when I think about goals, again, I like to have SMART goals. That means they're specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, they're realistic. And people say, well, if it's attainable, it has to be realistic. Here's the thing: attainable can be, I'm gonna do 2, when you really can do 5. Or, that's not a stretch. A goal needs to stretch you, but it doesn't need to be ridiculous. It needs to be realistic, you know. Um, so that's why there is attainable and realistic in the SMART goal. And then it needs to be timely. You need to put a date on it. I'm gonna do this by a certain time. Because if you just say, I'm just gonna do this and there's no timetable, it's not a SMART goal, because you could take forever to do it and never do it. Well, I didn't put a time on it, so who said I didn't reach my goal yet? No, when there's a time on it, I'm gonna do this by a certain time. It's that simple. All right, so those SMART goals, that's the first thing, identifying your goals. What are you hoping to achieve through your network? Are you looking for job opportunities? Okay. Are you looking for insights into a certain industry? Or maybe you're looking for entrepreneurial advice. Maybe you're looking to start a business. Or maybe you're already operating a business and you want to know how to scale your business. So you want to find networks that align with that. And so once you know your goals, then you begin to attend targeted networking events. You look for networking events that are in line with your goals. You engage on professional social media platforms like LinkedIn and others like that. And then don't hesitate to reach out for informational interviews, reaching out to people who are already in those uh, career tracks, in those industries, and say, hey, can I treat you to a cup of coffee? I just want to pick your brain. Those informational interviews, that's where you grow your network and develop that relationship. And people love talking about themselves. So they'll give you that time. Find out what they like. Now, spend a little bit of money, buy them a cup of coffee, whatever. I ain't saying you got to, take them out to a fancy dinner, but a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, whatever. If they don't drink coffee or tea, just, hey, can we get a drink or whatever? It can be a soft drink or glass of wine, whatever your thing is. But do that and get in those informational interviews. So let's look at let's talk about some network strategies. So when you talk about effective network strategies, effective network strategies involve more than just making connections. It involves maintaining those connections. There's nothing, it's easy to go collect cards and even talking to people, but you have to reach out. You have to do follow up with that. Something as simple as a text. Hey, it was great meeting you at the event last night. Just a little follow up text. Oh, okay. Or an email, whatever the case is, you know, but then don't just do it right after the event, right after you met them. Regular follow ups. Maybe hey, We were at the event. You were talking about this. I found some information on what you were talking about. Sharing useful information whenever possible, offering assistance as you talk to people, getting to know people and know what it is they're trying to do, then offering some assistance to help them achieve their goals. Remember, the most beneficial networks are those where the support is mutual. You want to be involved in a mutually beneficial relationship with someone. That's how you build a strong network. And remember, as the slide says, always be fat, be faithful, be available, be teachable. All right. So
I love, not to cut you off, I love the building your network strategies and everything that you just mentioned, because successful people love being connected to successful people. As someone who helped build out just different platforms with different companies, it's like I've had friends that I went to college with that got me jobs easily just because it was a referral, right? I sustained those jobs once I got there, but it was easy to get in the door because someone said, hey, that's a great worker. So have the mindset that you're not just building a partnership or relationships or trying to see what you can get from someone. But if you're doing great work, people love being connected to successful people, and people love being able to say, hey, utilize the Success Corporation for your recruiting and training and staffing development. And if you do great work, that's a great partnership. And now that gives me authority because I've connected you.
and that's a great segue into our next slide that talks about the importance of network. It's the importance of building a network. Networking is so crucial because the strength of your network can significantly influence your career trajectory. Listen, just what Ms. Tyran was just talking about, as far as being able to get in the door because of a recommendation. 90% of the jobs I've had in my 30 plus years of working in the workforce have been through someone I knew. Either somebody knew me and they was sat on a board somewhere like, oh man, there's Marco. That's the type of guy we're looking for. And I get a phone call. Hey man, can you come to this event? Such. I mean, it has happened so many times because of someone I know. Oh, yeah, man. You work so and so, man. I just put in an application in. Oh, you did? Man. All right, I'm gonna talk to my boss man, such and such and such and such.
Right.
Because of someone I know. If not, a lot of times, as a recruiter myself, we are looking at hundreds of resumes.
And need the talent. I mean, the
And
workforce need
yeah,
great qualified candidates.
yes, but when somebody can vouch for a candidate, it will move you to the head of the line. You'd be amazed. So use the tools that are available. Do the networking in person and use the social media networking platforms, those professional networking platforms like LinkedIn and others like that. People within your network can recommend you for positions, introduce you to key stakeholders in an organization. They can provide you with endorsements that will bolster your credibility. I cannot stress this enough. Get to know people, develop those relationships, and keep in touch with people because you never know when you're going to need them and have to go that way. Don't burn the bridges. Anything on that, Ms. Tyrone?
Perfect. Perfectly said. And let's dive into choosing the right network.
Listen, not all networks are created equal.
Right.
Why do I say that? You need to choose networks that align with your professional values and goals. Again, when we talked about setting those goals before you start building your network, if the network if you're trying to learn about, you know, Savannah's huge with the shipping industry and logistics. If you're trying to learn about maritime logistics, you don't need to go to the real estate networking event.
No.
If you ain't selling real estate or a mortgage broker like Miss Tyran, if you're trying to see how I can get into to get freight, I'm a freight broker, and I'm trying to see how I can connect with companies that are moving goods all over the country, and I got truck drivers waiting on freight to haul. I need to go to the Maritime Logistic Networking event. I
Mm,
to be
right.
at the real estate networking. So again, that's why I say not all networks are created equal. You need to choose those networks that align with your professional values and goals. Look for groups that attract diverse professionals with various sectors and level of experience. And when I say various sectors, I'm using the maritime logistics uh, event because when I was in the staffing and recruiting world, I did some staffing and recruiting for the warehousing industry. So I would attend those events because I was trying to get more business.
Right.
I was trying to gain more business. So I needed to know who else was in the warehousing industry because I had workers, loaders and unloaders. And I had checkers and things like that who did the admin to make sure that the inventory was right, that was coming on and off the trucks, all of those things. So that was the world I was in. So I was going to those networking events. Then when I began to recruit in the financial industries, when I was, recruiting people in finance companies, I was going to those type of networking events where the bankers and the people that worked at loan companies and things like that were
Right.
at, because those were the type of people I was looking to recruit. So depending on what you're looking to do, that's where you look to network with people from various experience levels and various sectors that are in that ecosystem based on what you're trying to do. And a key, uh, diversity. Uh, uh, it'll enrich your network. It'll enrich your networking experience. It'll provide you with a broader spectrum of opportunities. So having a diverse network, and then you yourself being versatile, and being able just being relatable. That is so key, and it is, again, will help you make sure you choose the right network.
Right.
Well, I'm about done, Miss Tyran.
Again, I am so happy that we are building this part three series from the ground up. So the students and the young adults that we are bridging the workforce gap, making sure that they are trained and understand the foundations of the the workforce and just the etiquettes of it all, right? I can say that I'm super excited to partner with the Success Corporation, and anyone looking for training and workforce development, the Success Corporation is the place to be. So you can reach them at 912-289-7644. Visit their website at www.thesuccesscorporation.com, and also email your resumes. The Opulent Ecosystem is teaming up with the Success Corporation. Lenders Plus has powered all of this. We're going to be making sure that we're giving out free resumes to students and making sure that they have the tools that they need to succeed. So reach out to Marco at thesuccesscorporation.org and we will be in touch. Do you have any final words, Pastor George?
Yes, let me just say this in conclusion. Remember, effective networking is a skill that can be developed and refined over time. I've been doing this for 30 plus years. I don't expect you to be a networker at the level I am. I'm a master networker. But understand that it's about more than just meeting people. It is about building relationships that are beneficial to everyone involved. I encourage you to take what you've learned today and apply it to your networking efforts. Let's build networks that not only lead to success, but also foster a sense of community where there's mutual growth. I want to thank you again for your attention, and I look forward to seeing how you all will turn these insights into action. I'm just excited.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. You all have a great one.
Thank you. See you at the top.